came to Oregon for the first time was when they were drilling the West Side Tunnel to Hillsborough. And at that point, it was a community that was going to be connected. Strangely enough, it was a Mexican community, and that had no meaning to me at that time as I was still in the East Coast. Well, when I came here, it meant that that was going to be me. It was going to be my community. Because when I got here, although I was born in Puerto Rico, I educated in New York, when I got here, I am Mexicano. So I had to learn my culture, I had to learn my language, and I had to represent. I also had to understand the stereotypes and where my place was in the perspective of this community. I was lucky to be recruited to come run a department for the state. So I wasn't typical, but I remember an experience at the state where the person at HR asked me for my green card. Even though I clearly told her that I was born in Puerto Rico, but I had to take the moment to teach. And to teach that although Puerto Rico was outside of the US, but was within the US, and I was born a US citizen. And that sort of set the experience that I was going to have here for a few years. It's been amazing being here. This has been the right choice for me. I think that I get to live a life that impacts my surroundings, and I get to impact individuals one by one. My grandmother was a seamstress. My mom was her assistant, and it was a point where the scissor broke, and my mom asked me to go get a pair of scissors from the grocery store that was probably half a block away. She gives me the money, and I run, and my grandmother sort of gave me my little kiss, and I went off because you asked la bendición. She gave me my bendición, and here I go. So I get to the store, and I ask for a pair of scissors, and the gentleman behind the counter says, kids are not allowed to play with scissors. So he sends me home without the scissors. And I remember walking in afraid, not afraid of my mother, but afraid of my grandmother, who I had lots of respect, and I would never disappoint. Even though I was young, I still knew the value of my grandmother. And the interesting thing was that my grandmother just looked at me, and with those looks, that Latino mother look that you know, so whether it was your grandmother or your mother, they gave you the look you knew. And in my heart just bounced, and I knew something was coming. And my grandmother grabbed me in her arms, and at that point it looked like she had big arms and big hands, and she just looked at me and says, never allow the word no stop you from accomplishing what you need to accomplish. And then she slapped me on my buttocks and sent me back to the store to get that pair of scissors. And as I returned back, I looked at the guy, and he looked at me, and we just crossed eyes and just intensively looked, and he knew what was going to happen, and I knew what was going to happen, and all I could do was grab the scissors, throw the money, and run. And then from that moment on, when I returned, and that's when I came to the realization that whenever I hear the word no, I'm either in the wrong room or I'm speaking to the wrong people. And I usually tell employers, large employers, about how to impact their workforce. And I usually advise them that the Latino in your organization is going to make it with you or without you. The danger is going to be that they may be hiring you later. So which side of the road do you want to be? Do you want to be in the one that invested and supported and will be taken care of? Because we will remember those who supported us along the way. We're a family, we're a team, and all those things are appreciated. Latinos are the sleeping giant. We're going to impact this community. We're not going anywhere. We're committed to Oregon, we're committed to Portland, we're committed to Eugene, we're committed to Ashland. Doesn't matter where we are in this state, and we're everywhere in this state, that we're going to impact that community. I would advise them to never take no. It's an experience that I take dearly from my grandmother's experience, my mom's experience. And I think that no is one of those words that means stop. And in our community, it's going to mean yield and redirect. And that in anything in life, they should just yield and redirect. But they're going to accomplish everything that they want to accomplish. One thing I'm going to take away from my experience here in Unidos, it's being re-energized in the power of the Latino community in Oregon across our state. The brilliant minds, the brilliant talent that is working in isolation for all these years, and it's finally coming together to create a web of knowledge, to create a web of uniting forces, to create a web of individuals ready to support Oregon, Oregonians, and the issues that we'll tackle in the future.